Hey Generations guitar players, I am making this video so that you can see some of the simplified methods of our guitar system. We've run into some problems in the past, just over the years of the different types of services we do, the different types of guitars and guitar players we have, and so I'm trying to make a system that will work for everyone all the time so that we don't have to worry about plugging and unplugging things and messing things up for the different services that happen. So here's what we've got. First is that we're getting rid of the Line 6 system. We're not going to use the Line 6 pod anymore. People didn't understand how it worked, and it was kind of overly complicated. We've got a much simpler system now, so let me show you what we got. If you look down here, and I'll try to get this in the frame as best I can. No, that's probably too far. There we go. So what we've got here, the system runs, the system runs from right to left. So if you're troubleshooting and you're not sure where the break in the system is, start from the right and move to the left. So this is your receiver, comes from the wireless transmitter. If you see a green light when you play, even if you can't hear anything, if you see that green light, that means you got signal. And so you're good to go, and then check your cables from there. So it runs from the receiver all the way down to the direct box that takes us to the board. And so everything should be left pretty much as is. It should be good to go. This is set up for the most universal system we can think of. So you should be able to play an SG or a Strat, whatever, and everything in between. So here's what all the pedals are and how they work. Coming from left to right, we begin with the SansAmp. This will pretty much be left on all the time. If you're playing for CR, you may want to turn this off for just an extra clean total bypass, but you'll need to boost the signal from the soundboard to get you a little more power. So turn this on, and now we've got some power. And you'll notice that it's a relatively clean, just slightly overdriven sound. Nicely saturated, it's rich, it's full. It's a really good sound for an electric guitar, for any electric guitar. Notice that the drive is turned all the way down. That's where it needs to be. Just leave it right there. That's perfect. Next is the delay, and of course, if you don't know what delay is, that's the kind of echoey sound. You turn that on, and that's the sound it makes. So you'll notice the buttons say on and they say tap. On, of course, turns the effect on and off. Tap sets the speed at which you want it to play, and it can be fast or slow. Next is the reverb, the void. This you could just about leave on all the time. It's just a nice sounding effect. It's subtle enough to not overpower, but it adds some really good color to it. Next is the soul food. This is one that you'll only use rarely. The sound is set up perfectly. This is just if you need a little extra gain for a solo or something. Notice that it's not a whole lot. You know, it's not a real distortion pedal. It's just a very simple overdrive with the gain turned almost all the way down. And that's really the way it needs to be. Any more than that, and it will overpower and just really muddy up the waters. So if you're setting up for a Sunday morning, most likely what you'll have is the SansAmp and the void turned on. This is good for rhythm. It's good for leads. It's good for pretty much anything. If you need the soul food, you can turn that one on, and that gives you just a little bit extra. Choose between either the delay or the reverb. Rarely will you need both because they tend to oversaturate if you use both at the same time. And then, of course, for CR, you can turn everything off and you get a true bypass. And that is our setup. Hopefully that will make things a little bit easier, a lot less complicated. You'll be able to just come in, plug in, and play. But of course, your playing style will affect how this sounds as well. So if you want it to be a little more clean, then play delicately. If you want it to be a little more overdriven, just play a little more aggressively, and it should be good. All right, thanks for all you do, volunteers. Hopefully this will make all of your jobs a whole lot easier.